Hi, my name is Stephanie and I'm a big fan of all things movies, music and physical media, and today I wanted to talk about all of the movies that I watched in March. So here's a list of all the movies that I watched in March. I watched 19 movies, which is pretty good. I hadn't seen 7 of them before and I saw 4 of them at the cinema. The first movie that I saw was Song Sung Blue, which is a film starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, and they were both amazing in it. And I was intrigued by this movie because I'm a big fan of Neil Diamond's music because I grew up on it. I've seen Neil Diamond live as a kid. This movie was based on a true story about a couple that did a Neil Diamond sort of show. They weren't impersonators, but they had their own entertainment thing happening. It's about their relationship on stage and off stage, and it's soundtracked by amazing music, and I particularly loved the musical numbers. I thought those were amazing and it really brought the movie to life. Next is Madonna Truth or Dare from 1991. I loved watching this. This is like a film documentary and it's about Madonna on the Blonde Ambition tour that she did in the early 90s. This movie came out in 1991 and it's full of Madonna being Madonna, and she's like backstage and on stage, and it's all in black and white unless it's the musical performances, which are amazing as well. It's just so cool to see an icon doing what she does, and she's so unapologetically herself, and the songs are just so great, and you see how much love and effort and how much of a toll tour takes on her as a performer, but also just like in her life. I just find that it's like a very special piece of media that exists because she's such a historical figure as well, and she's such an icon that it's so important to have films like Truth or Dare where you just see her being herself. Next is David Lynch's adaptation of Dune from 1984. I have seen this before. I watched it at a movie night with friends, but we kind of spoke over it. Visually, I think this is like really good, and the makeup and stuff is so gross at times that it's like I can't deal with it. I'm too squeamish, but as an adaptation I think this is fun. Next is Breathless from 1983. This is a remake of the French film Breathless, which I own but I haven't seen yet. I don't know, I just felt like rewatching. Number 5 is Kingdom in the Sky, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis live at Hanging Rock. This is like a TV special that was made in Australia, which shows performances of Nick Cave and Warren Ellis performing at Hanging Rock in Victoria in Australia. I went to this tour. I didn't go to this show, but I went and saw Nick Cave and Warren Ellis on this tour, and that show was amazing. And I've seen this special a few times because it's like half an hour long, and every time I'm just extremely impressed and so like floaty with this music. Next is The Nutty Professor from 1996. This is the Eddie Murphy remake of the Jerry Lewis film The Nutty Professor. I've seen both many times. This one I've seen more. I hadn't seen it in a while for some reason, and then it was on TV and I rewatched it and I loved it. Like, it's one of those movies where I know all the lines to it. It's just so familiar to me. Next is The Swan Princess from 1994. Again, these are movies that I grew up on and have seen heaps, and they're comfort movies and they're just really pretty and underrated. The songs in these movies are really, really good. Number 8 was a movie I hadn't seen before. It's a movie that stressed me out, and that's If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. This movie was really well done, and Rose Byrne was amazing in it. She was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress for this film, and she deserve that. She's amazing in this movie, but this movie is just like stress. How long is it? It's like 113 minutes of pure stress. It's like Uncut Gems. I love Uncut Gems and I can rewatch it all the time. This one stressed me out too much, but it's an amazing movie. Next is Moonwalker from 1988. This is like a Michael Jackson movie slash special slash music video situation. I believe it's to promote Bad when it came out. It's from that time, and there's live performances, there's music videos, there's like special videos like the thing for Speed Demon where it's like a movie scene sort of thing, and it's just lots of fun. And Joe Pesci's in it. There's like that sequence at the end. It's like divided into like sequences. And I grew up on it. I've seen it heaps, and then someone put it on, so I rewatched it. Next is Harry Styles' One Night in Manchester, which came out the weekend that I watched it. And that was a concert that Harry Styles performed in Manchester to promote and celebrate his new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, which I have been listening to non-stop since it came out. I love this album and I loved this concert. I love the camera work. It's very like on stage with the musicians, and the stage is like centered. So it's all round things happening, and it's so cool. And hearing these songs live, I'm like, I need a live album. And he does some older ones too, which made me very happy. And yeah, he's just such a great live performer, and the songs are so great, and the concert is amazing. Number 11 is The Moment from 2026. This is the new Charlie XCX movie in which she's almost like parodying herself and the Brat era, and it's a fun watch. It's an interesting watch. It's one that I loved the score. I think the approach to exploring the Brat era from a fictional perspective, and the idea of keeping something going when it naturally should stop, or it hasn't timed out, or it's a very interesting concept, and it's one that I think she's pretty brave for doing, instead of just doing like a concert film or whatever, although I really would love to see that as well. But I get the vision, and I thought it was a really good movie. Number 12 is Borat subsequent movie film from 2020. I rewatched this because my sister wanted to watch it. I've seen the original Borat many times. This one I've seen like once when it came out. We were still in lockdown where I was. It's honestly so interesting to watch now, even though it's only been 6 years since lockdown and all the events of 2020. But seeing it all in hindsight and retrospect already, it just feels like a whole other time and situation. It was extremely trippy to watch. Next is a classic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Peter Pan from 1953. This is again one of my favorite Disney movies. I love the music, I love the score, I love the story, and yeah, it's one I can watch over and over again. Next, I watched this right after Peter Pan. It's Alice in Wonderland from 1951. Again, I love the score. This is one I've seen so many times, and the story and just the animation in old Disney is just so beautiful and nostalgic, and it's just full of craftsmanship. And honestly, I find watching older Disney and even animation in general just very moving. Next is Hurry Up Tomorrow from 2025. This is a movie starring The Weeknd as himself. It's an interesting approach. It's a very quiet movie. There's not much dialogue. It was an interesting watch. Next is Dogs in Space, which I've seen so many times. It's a Richard Lowenstein movie from 1986. It stars Michael Hutchence, who is probably most known for being the frontman of the band In Excess, one of my favorite bands, and this is my ticket from when I saw it at a 30th anniversary screening where I saw this movie in the cinema. I'm a big fan of Dogs in Space. Again, I've seen it so many times. I think it's kind of underseen and underrated. It's set in my city, which makes me very happy, and I've been to the house where the movie was shot, and people live there, so you can't do much, and I wouldn't do much anyway, but they always spray paint Dogs in Space on the floor, which is so cool. Number 17 was another movie I saw in the cinema, and that was Project Hail Mary. I was really apprehensive to see this movie. I'm very scared of space. I think it's a wonderful thing, but I'm very freaked out by the concept, and I don't like to think about it. I have seen a few space movies like Sunshine, Interstellar, things like that, but sci-fi I can appreciate, but it freaks me out a little bit. With that said, I saw this movie and I found it to be really moving. I thought it was done beautifully, and Ryan Gosling was amazing, and I was extremely impressed by this movie. Number 18 is Man on the Run. This is a documentary that's on Amazon Prime, and it is about Paul McCartney in the years right at the end of the Beatles to like the early 80s. And I love that McCartney era, and I love Paul McCartney, I love the Beatles, and I loved seeing the home movies and Linda McCartney's photography and the songs and hearing stories, and I could just listen to Paul McCartney talk about anything, so I just sat there really delighted the whole time and really moved. And then I bought the soundtrack. And the last movie that I watched in March was Sesperia from 1977. I watched this by myself late at night and no one was around, and that was really scary because the atmosphere created in this movie was so cool and freaky, and it's just the way certain characters just look right down the camera where you're like, oh my god, stop looking at me. And the use of color was amazing and so beautiful, and I loved this movie. I thought it was amazing, and I love like gorgeous horror. I do have the remake as well, and I will get to that at some point, but seeing Suspiria was on my list for so long, and I'm so glad that now I've watched. So those were the 19 movies that I watched in March, and if you made it to the end of this video, I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.